Hi guys, it's October 26th and we've been dealing with this pandemic since the middle of March, if you can believe it. We're now into the second, or maybe it's the third wave at this point. We are also dealing with our usual flu season that comes along, so things are kind of tense right now going into the winter. We're trying to stay isolated, we're trying to stay healthy, and hopefully some of these programs help you find some new music to entertain yourself while you're in isolation. As you can see by the backdrop, we're into Halloween week. Things have changed again this year on Halloween, how it's going to be celebrated, because people can't go out. A lot of places are not doing trick-or-treating anymore for places that normally do. So we're not really going to feature Halloween style music, but I have a week of rare albums that we're just going to take a look at. Not all of them, but there's a rarity in each episode. So today we're going to look at the music of Count Basie, but not just the music of Count Basie's big band, but Count Basie backing singers. One of the first ones I'd like to show you, and this is from a series called Compact Jazz. We can get it in there. And Verve put these out, and they had quite a few. I've got another one with Harry James. It was a great compilation. This one is Count Basie and Joe Williams, who was a singer with Count Basie for a number of years, a great singer. These were recorded in the 1950s, probably mid-50s I'm looking at on here. And just to give you an idea who was in the band backing up Joe Williams, we have, in trumpet section, notable Thad Jones and Joe Newman. We have Bill Hughes and Benny Powell playing trombone, Marshall Royal on sax, Frank Foster on sax, Freddie Green on guitar, who was an ongoing member of Count Basie's band, Sonny Payne on drums, who I had a chance to see live when Count Basie performed in Kingston. I actually got to see the Count Basie band in the mid-70s, and it was kind of a funny story because during the playing, Count Basie was at his piano, but he always seemed to be searching through his music. He'd be searching through the folders, doing something, and people joke that, the concert was the band and Count Basie, filing music. But he'd be going through the music, and all of a sudden the part would come up that was his. He'd pop his head up, go to the piano, and it'd be plink, plink, plink with one finger, literally, the right notes, the right time. It just made the song. He was just that good, and of course he'd been playing these for years, but I mean, his style, it was a funny thing to see, but it was amazing the way he added to the music. Anyways, on this album, we also have Ella Fitzgerald joining Joe Williams on a number of tunes. Just to give you some idea of what they were doing, and of course this one was one of their classics, Every Day I Have the Blues. We've got Fine Romance, Too Close for Comfort, Beginning to See the Light, Smack Dab in the Middle, Teach Me Tonight, Come Rain or Come Shine, Rollin' Pete, and another Joe Williams favorite, All Right, Okay, You Win. And a great album, a great band, a great version of the band, and not a lot of albums I have that feature Thad Jones as well in the trumpet section, which was really neat. So that one was on compact, and I'm not sure when it came out. Like I say, the recordings were done in the 1950s. Looks like this one came out about 1988, so the late 80s for this compilation. Now, another one I picked up, just go off screen there for a second to grab it. And this one was one of those impulse buys when you're going out to the supermarket or the department store and they've got records or CDs at this point along the cash out. And again, not really expensive. A lot of times not major labels, but they're just those impulse ones for people. And this is one I found, and it's on, I can't even see the name of the record here. It's kind of a no-name record label, and it was Tony Bennett and the Count Basie band. Now, because we're looking at, again, these impulse ones, low budget, no information. We had no idea who's playing in the band, when it was recorded, any other information other than it's Count Basie and Tony Bennett. And you can't go wrong with that. To give you some idea of what they did on this CD, we've got I've Grown Accustomed to Her Face, Chicago, Jeepers Creepers, I guess I'll have to change my plans, Anything Goes, Swingin' the Blues, Lester Leaps In. A good set of music, and again, a good chance to hear Tony Bennett with the Count Basie Orchestra. And a lot of, like, there can be a number of these. You'll see them pop up, and some of the songs show up on a number of different ones. They kind of trade them around. I'm not sure who produces them, but again, I think this was like about $3 or $4. It wasn't very expensive because it was one of those discount ones at the front of the store. Now, one of my favorites, and this one is a classic. This is the rarity, and it's one called Ray Sings, Basie Swings. It's got a little subtitle on here. It says Ray Charles plus the Count Basie Orchestra equals genius squared. This is not unlike the album we looked at a few weeks ago with Dean Martin, where we had taken Dean Martin's tracks and they added another studio orchestra. They added Chris Body. They added Big Fat Doo Doo Daddy, or Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, getting them mixed up with my Big Fat Band. But what they've done is they've taken Ray's tracks and then they've put the Count Basie Orchestra in as accompaniment. And these are new backgrounds that the Basie Orchestra did with the tracks Ray had already done. A great album. Is just to give you a little wording off the top here. It says, this pairing never happened, but should have. There's a quote from Quincy Jones inside, saying Ray Charles and Count Basie were two of the most charismatic personalities I've ever known. I love them both. They were both generous and loving mentors of mine. So to hear this amazing collaboration of the musical geniuses is a treat of the highest order. When the 21st century technology and timeless soul come together, watch out. This is one for the ages. And it is a great album. Just to give you some idea of the songs they're doing, and again, it's all Ray Charles tunes. We've got Oh What a Beautiful Morning, Let the Good Times Roll, How Long Has This Been Going On, Crying Time. So a couple of Ray's country tunes in there. Can't Stop Loving You, The Long and Winding Road, the Beatles tune. Look What They've Done to My Song, one of the old classics from Melanie that Ray had a big hit with. And another big Ray hit, Georgia on My Mind. So get a chance to hear Ray Charles and the Count Basie Orchestra, a pairing that never happened, but well worth the album. Give it a chance, give it a listen. It's an excellent album. The band itself, I mean, this was after Count Basie had passed, so it was directed by Bill Hughes. Give you some idea who we have here. Saxophones, Marshall McDonald, Grant Langford, Doug Lawrence, Doug Miller, John Williams. The trumpets this time were Michael Williams, Scotty Reinhardt, Sean Edmonds, and Andre Rice. Trombones, Dave Keim, Alan Walker, Clarence Banks, and Barry K. Cooper Jr. on bass trombone. And we also featured the Raylettes. So there's my pairing for Monday. We've got Count Basie with Joe Williams, Count Basie with Tony Bennett, and Count Basie with Ray Charles. And this is the one I would consider the rarity because it never really happened. They put it together in the studio. Perfect album. Anyways, have a great Monday. Stay safe. We'll see you on Wednesday when we are looking at classic rock. Have a good week.